Did y'all know you can run a care home out of your own house? I didn't either. And what I found changed the way I looked at this house. Because not only is it possible, it's a lot simpler than people might think. So, in this video, I'm going to break down how adult family care homes here in Florida actually work. So, you don't have to spend months trying to figure it all out like I did. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Michelle. I'm a wife, I'm a mom of four, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm opening up an adult family care home right here in my own house. And if that sounds a little crazy to you, stick with me because it's not as crazy as you might think. Because once you understand how it all works, it actually makes a lot of sense. Let's get into it. After my last video where I was talking about the adult family care home, I had a lot of people asking me, so is this real? Can you really run a care home inside your own house? And the answer is yes, yes, you can. But there's a process, of course. There are rules, and there's a couple things that you need to know before you even attempt to do something like this. So first, let's just clear up what people might think. A lot of people might think that I'm talking about a nursing home with a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of residents, a whole bunch of patients, but that's not what this is. This is a small residential, like an assisted living, except we still live here. So we can only have 5 people here in Florida for an adult family care home. And what we do is we provide basic help with their ADLs, right? So it's basically a small group of seniors or a small group of adults that need a little bit extra help, all living under one roof where the owner actually lives there as well. That's literally why it's called an adult family care home because it's like you're welcoming them into your own family, right? A lot of people don't have that. They're living by themselves. Maybe their kids live in another state or whatever. So that's why an adult family care home model is supposed to feel like home, right? Not like a hospital, not like a nursing home. So it's real small, real private, real family oriented, right? So instead of a huge facility, it's a regular house, very similar to a residential assisted living without all the extra expensive requirements needed to open up a residential assisted living facility. The residents that live in a home like this usually need help with the regular day to day things, right? Getting dressed, eating, taking their medication, bathing, going to their doctor's appointments, shopping, things like that. They're not in critical condition. They don't need full care, right? They just need a little bit of assistance and a little bit of extra support with their daily life. And they deserve to get that support from somewhere that feels warm, that feels like a home, that feels like a family environment. And here's a part that really surprises a lot of people is that even though it's basically like a residential assisted living home, you don't need all the extra commercial equipment that residential assisted living home needs, right? You don't need sprinklers, at least here in Hillsborough County. Every county is different. So every county, every state. So make sure you check with your own local zoning laws to find out exactly what is required. But here in Hillsborough County, we don't need sprinklers. We don't need a generator. Although, like I said in my previous video, we probably will get that because storms do come through here and the power does go out. So generators will definitely come in handy. We don't need a commercial kitchen. I know in a residential assisted living, I think you do need a commercial kitchen if you plan to cook. But here you don't. It's just like a regular home. A residential assisted living is a whole nother type of licensing. And honestly, the startup cost for that can get super high. An adult family care home is designed to operate inside a regular home. So that's our plan to operate it, start it here, and to eventually convert it to an assisted living home down the road. But right now, this is a good starting point for us. The barrier to entry is super low, especially if you're a nurse, right? Because you're already familiar with care, you're already familiar with medication management, ADLs, you're already a caregiver. So if you're a nurse and if you have any extra space in your home, this might be a perfect model for you. Now let's talk about who actually oversees these homes. In Florida, it is ACA, and that's the Agency for Healthcare Administration. They're the ones that license adult family care homes, adult daycares, which I did own, and residential assisted living facilities, as well as all the other larger facilities. They handle the licensing, they oversee the program, and they make sure that the homes are operating safely. But here's something that a lot of people don't realize. Even though the state is the one licensing you, a lot of the specific requirements depend on your county. So the process isn't cookie cutter. You have to do your homework locally. When people ask me where to start, I always tell them the same thing. The number one place to start is your local zoning department. You need to make sure that your property is even allowed to operate a care home. Some areas are totally fine with it, some not so much. Zoning is always step one. Don't skip that. Number two is your fire marshal. They're focused on safety, smoke detectors, exit routes, egress windows, emergency plans, fire safety equipment, stuff like that. And this is where the sprinkler system always comes up. They're the ones that will let you know if your home needs a sprinkler system or not. And that's honestly something to find out early on because installing sprinklers can cost 20 to 30,000 and up. So you need to talk to the fire marshal in your county as soon as possible. And if you're in a county that actually does require sprinklers, there's some businesses that will allow you to finance it, and it's sometimes it's not as big of a deal that you might think it is. It's definitely worth it to pay 20 to 30,000 for something if you're going to be making 20 to 30,000 a month. Okay. And the third phone call that you need to make is to your local Department of Health. They're focused on food safety, sanitation, and making sure the home environment is clean and safe for your residents. So those are your first three calls: zoning, fire marshal, Department of Health. Don't skip those. After that, you move on to the formal licensing process with ACA or whatever state licensing department you have in your state. And I'm just curious, what state are you watching from? Let me know in the comments, and then maybe I can help you do some research and see what your requirements are in your particular state. So, the process with ACA, that's going to be background checks, training, paperwork, inspections, all the fun stuff, right? So, let me tell you a little bit of our setup because I think it'll help this all click. In one of my other videos, I did go over the house a little bit, but just to go over it again, the property was a fixer-upper. It's large enough so our family can live in the back portion, and we're going to have the business in the front portion. If you see this door behind me, this kind of separates. This is where the separation lies. But the residents, they're free to come back here if they want to, but their side of the house is going to be fully equipped with everything that they might need and want, except for the pool area, which I'm not going to let them come back and forth from the pool because that's not safe at all. But we will have scheduled activities in the pool for sure. So they will definitely get to swim. It's Florida, it gets very hot. So for the residents, we have three bedrooms, two are shared, one is private, so five beds total. Each resident will be paying between 3,000 and 5,000 per bed per month, depending on level of care. But like I said before, most of these residents are going to be mostly independent, just needing very minimal assistance with certain things. Each bedroom has its own bathroom, and there's also a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, of course, and a large porch with a large front yard. So residents have their own comfortable space, but it definitely feels like a home environment, not a facility, not a large and cold hospital, nursing home, or a large assisted living. And that's the whole point. A lot of families prefer their loved ones to be in a place like this. They get better personalized care, and they know that their loved one isn't disappearing into a large building, that they're going to get the care that they deserve. They're living in a small house with a family where people actually know their name. And that's important. Right now, we're finishing up the renovations. We're almost at the finish line, y'all. And then I can show you guys more. And I'll do a separate video on the actual income model, the Medicaid waivers, the private pay, because yes, this is a real business. And if you're a nurse or caregiver who's been sitting on an idea like this, or you've been feeling stuck, not knowing where to start, grab the free resource in my description, The Burned Out Nurse's First Three Moves. It's free, it's simple, and it might be what you actually need right now because this is just the beginning.